That's ISO. Rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound.
Yo, welcome to episode 2 of the Keeping It Real podcast.
Hey everyone.
Nice to say. We have episode 1 out of the way. Keeping It Real, hosted by me, Matteo Lucio, and my mother, Julia Lucio. Say what's up.
Hey guys. Hi, what's up?
How's your week been? Let's start off with that.
It's been good. It's been good. Just hectic as ever with newspaper world is always fun, but it's been okay.
It's been good.
Can't complain. You?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I've wanted to start watching more movies. I have not watched a 2024 movie yet. There are a few that we're interested in that are straight to home, I guess. Usually people talk a lot about January movies and theaters especially being terrible. It's people wanting to get films out early in the year. Usually you're not going to hit a stride in movies for a while.
Yeah, but usually there's a string of new movies that are anticipated in January, and like this year is so flat.
Yeah, last year at least had Megan, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, it was an utter disappointment. But
it was a
but
big
there was
release,
some stuff,
It was something to go see.
Yeah,
I feel like this year we don't even have that. There's the Netflix movie Society of the Snow, right?
Yeah.
We want to watch that, but we haven't gotten
Mean Girls. Mean Girls came out this week too.
Oh, it did. That's something I want to see.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, because I'm thinking it might very well be bad, but there's potential for it to be good. And
yeah,
if it is good, I would want to see that. So
yeah, well, then that can be our next movie. And but we did go to the movies.
We did go to the movies. And before we talk about that, I want to bring up one more thing, guys. I can't speak for you, but for the foreseeable future, this should be my last episode of the podcast in this room. Next week, expect a better backdrop for me. I have like some Funko Pops back there and some posters from a Kanye West album, and that's it. Next week, it's gonna look a lot nicer, trust.
And I'm gonna want to pimp up my area as well, where I wanna put some movie posters around and make it more topic appropriate.
We're gonna have nice setups. Yeah. But back to the movie that we saw, that we said we were gonna see, because it was a contender for movie of the year according to a lot of people, and we did go see it. Poor Things.
Yes.
Hey guys, editing Matteo here. Just a warning, there are light spoilers for Poor Things in this section. Nothing too crazy. The movie's still going to be enjoyable if you watch this, but it's a really good movie. I would just recommend watching it before listening to this section. I'll put something here to say what to skip to if you don't want to hear the spoilers, and back to the podcast.
We did. We went to see Poor Things, and wow.
What a movie.
All I got to say. What a movie.
I wasn't expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't even expecting it to be remotely like the concept that it was. I knew generally it was almost like a Frankenstein type thing.
Yeah.
I could have never imagined that it would be this big commentary on feminism, sex work, being a woman, pregnancy, marriage.
Everything. It's just a big commentary on life.
Came out of nowhere.
I know. I was I was not expecting I knew it was nominated for some Oscars, so I was not I was expecting a little bit of good stuff in it, but man, that took me by surprise completely, and I just I got out of there and I said to you, I said, well, I think that just knocked out my top one.
And I want to talk about that. Do you still believe that after having some time to sit on it? Seriously?
Yeah.
So that's your best movie of the year?
To me, it is.
And I can't complain. I was writing a script for my top 10 movies of the year, and then I scrapped it. But I was working on it whenever, right after we saw it. and I think I placed it at fifth, above like what my previous fifth was Oppenheimer, and I placed that fifth, and I said in the script, I'm not sure if this really is my five, but as we were talking about last week, Oppenheimer has been talked about too much, and
Mhm.
I just wanted to talk about Poor Things more. If not five, definitely in the top 6 or 7. Given it, having given it some time, I do think I would put it at five though.
I'm surprised that it's so high in your top 10.
You thought I was bored? Maybe I was a little tired. We saw the movie at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
really
When I got
enjoyed
out, I was like, you didn't like it, right? You didn't like
it.
it.
I loved it. I genuinely loved it.
Yeah,
From like,
great for
I guess
sure.
we'll talk more about all of these factors, but let me just rapid fire some of the amazing things about this movie. As we talked
Mhm.
about the message, the acting, the set design, the score. What do you want to talk about first out of all of those amazing things?
Um, I think we'll leave the acting for the end because it's going to lead into the other topic we're going to talk about.
Okay.
But let's do the set design.
Yeah, I said in the last episode, Asteroid City and Into the Spider-Verse were Across the Spider-Verse were the two most visually appealing movies of the year. And while those two are definitely still in contention, this movie added its name to that list.
Oh my God, it is such a like he created. So the director is Yorgos Lanthimos. I hope I'm
Yeah.
pronouncing that
I,
correctly.
I wonder what nationality that name is.
But I've never heard of him before. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what else. I haven't even researched
Maybe
it.
I'm
I
just not a
just
big enough film bro, but I haven't heard about him either.
haven't heard of him. And but the world he created for this movie is like it's an in between, like modern versus like 1920s, 30s kind of, era, but with sprinkled with like stuff that you would never see in the 1920s. Um, yeah, it just was fantastically made.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. The closest I can describe to that aesthetic is steampunk, which is still like different, but it does kind of give off those vibes, but it's just a really unique. It feels like a more like dark version of what you might see in a Disney uh
Yeah,
setting.
yeah,
Super
that's
like
well put.
magical, but is super unique.
It is. I wouldn't say magical. Like that's not a word that I would use to describe it.
Mm.
Surreal is
Yeah,
what comes to mind. Like
yeah.
it's surrealism, and it's just it really takes you to a different world.
Mhm. And then pairing with that is the score and the sound design in general, which just complemented the set and the overall theme of the movie so well. That song you were talking about early on, super distorted, that little theme would come on throughout the movie, seemingly
Yep.
when it was best fit to do so.
Yep. Yeah, so they did this thing with the music where they would just like the notes are played, but then as they're played, they're kind of like, the pitch changes,
Like
and it
warbled,
just, yeah, it's
warped.
warped.
Yeah.
And so it just adds perfectly to what they're trying to say, because like the whole, like the doctor is warped, the whole set of people are warped around, the main character. So
Okay, let's talk about what they were trying to say. I think we
okay.
might have different answers here. What was your one takeaway? If you could take away one thing from the message of that movie, what would it be?
um be yourself. Just be yourself, unapologetic. Ugh, I never can say that word. Say it for me. Unapologetic.
Unapologetically?
Yes.
I might leave that in, I'm just saying.
Go ahead. That's fine. It's just like, for background, I'm French Canadian, so I have some words sometimes that I can't freaking articulate. Anyways,
Yeah.
so yeah, so find yourself and be yourself, without excuse. be genuine. Like this woman uh grows up so much, grows up so much in the span of the movie, and she is who she is, you know. there is there is no way that she's anything else but what she is, and she embraces that, and she doesn't care. Like, she doesn't care, she doesn't give it a damn about what anybody is thinking. And so that's one strong message, but there's so many Easter eggs in there, you know.
For me, the one takeaway, and this is kind of broad, and I'm sure there's going to be some people watching that groan at this. This was a very outwardly feminist, pro sex work in the right. I'll talk about this more in the right setting, pro sex work. Um, Film that also looks a lot at exploitation in marriage, in sex work, and in just the dynamic of men versus women as a whole. So for the sex work part, I saw people criticizing this, saying that there were far too many sex scenes.
I
Um,
think they were essential.
I think they were essential too. I don't necessarily know if that would have been said if this was a movie about a man.
Oh,
I think
definitely not.
this is a theme looking at how women aren't allowed to be as openly sexual as men. I think that needed to be touched on, and I think they did it well. I like especially whenever she has this idea, why can't I pick the one who wants to do it with me? And then they would also feel like they're wanted too. Um, I feel like that makes a more broad commentary too about how women often don't have the choice maybe they should be able to. It also talks about how sex work in its current state is not really good because of how much exploitation there is, but in theory, in an idealist world, and maybe this is never possible, it could work. There's just so much, like, and then they talk about marriage. There's so much good
There is.
gender critical conversation in the movie.
Absolutely. I agree with you that the movie is 100% pro women. And but it's not anti men. That being said, you know, it's not anti men. It's just pro empowering women, and, you know, letting women deciding what they want to do with their bodies, and choosing, like, even in the setup of a client, choosing, you know, no, I'm going to choose my client. She's like, you know,
Yeah.
oh, why is it like this? Why is this guy choosing? Why can't I
I
choose
would
my
go
client?
so far as to say that if you look at this movie and you think, "Oh, this is anti-men," you are probably a part of the problem. Like, if you look at a commentary saying that a woman shouldn't have to be forced into a marriage, that's an anti-men message, you're probably just a part of the issue.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this movie is gonna get, the same kind of woke police shit on it like Barbie did, for example. Given how open the sex scenes are, I would think that it probably will. But I mean, the acclaim generally to it has been great, so no complaints there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like you were saying, it was really a surprise because like I heard very little um about it before last week.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like,
Up
when did it
before up
come out?
until
Like,
I saw it, honestly, I didn't know much about it.
yeah. And yeah, I think that the only reason I learned about it is because we were looking at the list for the Golden Globes and it was nominated. So I was like, huh, that looks interesting. And then I went to see the preview, but the preview, like, the trailer does not give you at all the hint of
I
what
don't
it's
know
about.
I don't know if I blurred out the preview because it was just the preview was just running. I don't know if I saw it and just tuned out whatever I saw, or if I just never saw the preview and vaguely knew about the concept. But I thought this movie might have been like a PG-13 movie going into it. And it could
Yeah.
not have been farther from that.
Yeah, it's like no, it's just but yeah, empowerment, women empowerment, and let women make the decisions about their lives and let men not interfere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we spoke about the score, we spoke about the set, and so I guess we have
The
to
message
speak
and now
the performance.
the performances. And I don't think there was a single bad actor in this movie.
No.
Standouts? Who would you say the standouts were?
So Emma Stone for sure. Like
Absolutely.
Emma Stone is just fantastic. And oh god, I'm blanking. What's his name? You know who?
Mark Ruffalo?
Yes. Mark
Yeah.
Ruffalo
A little
is
more
just
on Emma Stone. We were talking about how this character, I don't want to go too deep into spoilers, like just see the movie if you haven't. This character changes so much over the course of the movie, but it's so like you don't ever get the feeling that this is a different character. It feels like the same person. Natural progression, which is insanely hard when your mind matures from the age of a child to a fully grown mature woman by the end of a movie.
yeah. Yeah,
And she
it
sells it
was
so well.
absolutely. She's like she shines in this movie. It's like Emma Stone has been nominated before. I don't know if she won for La La Land a few years back, but I know she was nominated, and she is a great actress. But this is really a role of a lifetime, and she just does it fantastically. Like it's really hard. The role that she's into is really hard to ace, and I mean
And she
beyond
aces it.
aced. Beyond
Beyond ace,
aced
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Mark Ruffalo now. I think you probably feel more strongly about his performance than I do, so you can start.
I just feel so sorry for the guy. But I mean, he's the macho man. Like when the movie it's another kind of like a progressive kind of transformation in the character, but he goes from being very macho to being totally helpless, poor guy, and you just feel
Okay,
so
but
sorry for
by
him.
the end, I don't know if I feel super bad for him. I
No.
think part of like his character too, and especially early on with her, makes a commentary about men going after women who they have a power dynamic over or feel more mature than. Because she is
Mhm.
a child at that point. Not in
Yes,
terms
and
of
he's
her body, but in terms of everything else.
totally taking advantage of her at the beginning.
But he's hilarious in this movie.
He
Multiple times
he's
he just
great.
starts sobbing. And
Yeah, and
it's so
it's
funny.
it's so pathetic, it's funny. But yeah, he's I mean, it's not a main actor nomination, but as the supporting actor, and yeah, he's just fantastic.
And then other supporting actors were also amazing in this movie,
Willem
specifically
Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. Uh,
Yeah.
Part of that, obviously, a huge part of that goes to his acting. Part of what furthered it, him as a mad scientist, is the character design. Like his
Yep.
face is all messed up. Like the
Yep.
costume design and everything, it just works. It heightens his performance, which is already great.
Makeup is life, right? Like makeup is fantastic. Shout out Louise. But yeah, like they did such a great job with costume design too. We didn't talk about costume designs, but like the dresses she wears, like they're old fashioned but modern at the same time. Like it's just the whole movie is just, it
I need to
comes
talk
together so
about
beautiful.
Willem Dafoe. I feel like he plays like in these mysterious kind of roles. I'm not going to necessarily say he's evil here. He's a complicated character, but he plays in these roles of almost seeming sinister very often. I think in this movie specifically, we were talking about it. Everything around him heightens his performance. We were talking about the sound design, the costume design, but even the music when you're in his house, the
Yeah.
music, the distorted music that we were talking about earlier, it adds so much to the feeling of this character and who he is.
Yeah.
He goes by
A-
God.
Yeah.
We haven't even
and
talked
he
about that.
and he makes such a strong point about parenting. Like he threw some stuff across to me. Like, I'm a mom of 5, so I know a little bit about parenting, but he threw some stuff at me that, well, I mean, he did through his acting, but I mean, it's the writers that really throws it at you. But like, some of the strongest points about parenting to me. And yeah, he goes by God. Like, it's insane. Like,
Yeah. And by the end, you can see that she has less resentment for him than she has for him and his assistant than she has for pretty much every other man she's met in her life, despite the odd circumstances around knowing him. I'm retrospectively, I'm saying this now. I'm gonna put a spoiler warning. I'm just gonna say, if you don't want to hear about Poor Things, just don't watch the section entirely, because we've already probably talked about a little bit of what happens.
yeah.
And especially me saying that about her accepting her relationship with him, it feels like in part of the movie it may be building up to her going after him and seeing him as an enemy, as a bad guy, but that doesn't happen at the end. And I don't want to spoil that, so I'm gonna just add a spoiler warning here.
Okay. Yeah. So
But since I did that, do you want to talk about anything else to do with spoilers? Wait, one more thought before we. I'm assuming you're about to segue it to the main part of this episode. One more thought. We didn't even talk about these two characters, the old lady and that like nihilist guy on the
the
boat.
pimp.
They play such. No, I'm not talking about that.
The old lady pimp, no?
The old lady and the nihilist guy on the boat.
Oh, okay.
These two play such a minor role, and in this guy's very few minutes of screen time, he just adds a different layer of philosophy to the movie that just has nothing to do with the rest of the film. I just want to shout that out.
And he opens her eyes to a lot.
I don't want to say it has nothing to do with the rest of the film, but it isn't like directly related to the plot, I guess, but it does have more to talk about her coming to terms with the fact that, I guess, in becoming less naive, realizing that people are not necessarily inherently good, which is a big part of her character development and maturity.
And she realizes that there are classes of people. So yeah, no, it's just like I said, we started to talk about it, and we're like, oh, it's about this, it's about that, and that as we go along is, well, it's also about this, and it's also about that, and it's also got a message about this. It's just plastered with Easter eggs, and really go see it in theaters if you can. It's worth it. You need to see it in theater.
But as we talked in lengths about these actors' performances, they got quite a few nominations and wins at the main topic of this episode, the Golden Globes.
Yes, and I was so happy. So it's funny because we went to see this on Sunday night when the Golden Globes were happening, and like, leave it to movie reviewers to not know that the Golden Globes are happening. Like,
hey, listen, I'll put this out on the air right now. I don't care that much about award shows, and I've told you this a lot. I'm telling the listeners right now, I don't hold, like, if a movie that I think 100% deserves to win a major award doesn't do it, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. These people don't have some ultimate validation over what is the best film. So maybe just take it less seriously. But as we'll talk about later, some people did win, and I'm happy about that because they got recognition.
Yeah, I was so pleased because we went to see Poor Things, and then we got home, and then I saw that Emma Stone won the award for Best Actor in a Musical or a Comedy. It was like I was floored. I was like, oh my God, this is so well deserved. I couldn't be happier for her.
Who were the other nominees?
So hold on, I'm gonna scroll down. So the Best Actress for Musical or Comedy, the Nominees were Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple, Jennifer Lawrence for No Hard Feelings, Natalie Portman for May December, Alma Poisty for Falling Leaves, and Margot Robbie for Barbie. And then, of course, Emma Stone for Poor Things, and Emma Stone won.
So we've seen about half of those, and the other ones I heard I want to see. I really want to see May December and The Color Purple.
The Color Purple is in theaters right now, so that's another one we could go see.
So the nominations that we do know about, I have no major gripes with. So I guess the ones we do know there are the winner Emma Stone, Margot Robbie for Barbie, and I'm happy to see this nominated, Jennifer Lawrence for No Hard Feelings.
Yeah, she was really good in that.
Probably a more underrated movie, not on as many people's radars, but she was really good in it.
But I really feel for Margot Robbie. That must have hurt. Like,
Really?
come on, Barbie was one of the most talked movies of 2023 with the bang that Barbie has done.
Yeah, but she's gonna get some award love. Wait for the Oscars.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like more people care about the Oscars anyways.
They do. It's like the award show of the year. This, like, the Golden Globes is like movies and TV, right? So it's kind of different. But I'm gonna go through the list, and I'm gonna start by saying, because we went through the actress first, but I'm gonna go to let's do the best original song. So the best original songs, the nominees were Addicted to Romance from She Came to Me by Bruce Springsteen, Dance the Night from Barbie, I'm Just Scanned from Barbie. I wish that one won because it was so good. Peaches from the Super Mario Brothers, and then What Was I Made For from Barbie. So Billie Eilish won the best original song.
Hey, all I'm saying, you haven't seen Mario, but Peaches deserves to win.
Oh yeah?
Maybe not. That's just in jest, really. It was such a goofy song. I wouldn't have been mad if it won.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head the song that won, what it is.
It was a Barbie song, so
yeah.
I can't remember it either, but I remember that I'm Just Scanned, I'm Just Scanned was pretty
That was a standout. That one was robbed. That would be my pick too.
Yeah.
Don't have much to say there.
Best original score. Guess.
I would say, I don't know if it got the love, but I would be inclined to say The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Nope. Oppenheimer.
Okay.
That's
deserved too. That's deserved too.
It can't be,
but
for sure.
So score is just music, right? Sound design would be something different. That's where I would say Oppenheimer stands out more. Don't get me wrong, the score was great. Sound design, we're probably going to get to it later, and I'd be confident Oppenheimer won. That's deserved.
I don't think there is a category sound design on this, but there was like Poor Things was also nominated in the best score.
Anything else notable?
So
Poor Things might have been my winner, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
The Boy and the Heron.
Still need to watch.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Killers of the Flower Moon. A lot of
I don't think I would have put the last two in best score. They were good movies, great movies, but the scores didn't really stand out to me in either of those two movies.
Yeah. So anyways, Oppenheimer won the love. And then if we go to best screenplay, so this is a movie, the winner is a movie you haven't seen and you wanted to see. I haven't seen it either. So
best screenplay.
The screenplay nominees were Past Lives, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Barbie, and Anatomy of a Fall.
So Past Lives won?
Nope.
Anatomy of a Fall?
Yep.
Wow.
Best screenplay. So definitely have to put it. It's going to be difficult because now we're going to want to watch all the 2024 movies.
Yeah.
But we're also going to want to catch up on the 2020.
I'm going to have to set a boundary. I think I'm mostly done watching 2023 movies. There are a select few that I will watch probably still. The Boy and the Heron, Past Lives, maybe Anatomy of a Fall.
Yeah.
There aren't many others.
Well, you gotta watch at least the nominees for the best movies. Like you kind of have to.
Yeah.
All right, we move on to best supporting actor. So we had Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer.
He
We
won?
had Willem. Yeah, he won. We had
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe for Poor Things, Robert De Niro for Killers of Flower Moon, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, Charles Melton for May December, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. So the winner was
Everyone nominated could have rightfully won.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They were all good. But I was telling you, Ryan Gosling was not gonna get it. Well, we'll have to see at the Oscars, but
he got nominated. And I'm sure he's gonna win some best supporting actors. If not at the Oscars, there's gonna be a trillion minor award shows. Yeah,
Maybe,
yes.
I don't think so. We'll
Wow.
see. Best supporting actress. Before you go on to telling me who won, I'm gonna say the nominees. Okay, so
Wait,
I
don't know who won.
Okay,
Say
well,
it.
you blabbed out Robert Downey Jr. when I said
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
I don't know this one.
Okay,
Sorry, I was excited.
Rosamund Pike for Saltburn. Best supporting actress for Saltburn. Which one was that?
It could be the mom or the sister.
The mom? Huh. Rosamund Pike for Saltburn.
Let me look it up.
Julianne Moore for May December. Jodie Foster for Nyad. Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple. Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer. And Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
Okay, I think I know it now. But yeah, Rosamund Pike is the mom in Saltburn.
The mom? Okay. Great
I
performance.
don't know if I would have nominated her, but it was a great performance.
Yeah.
But the winner is...
You tell me.
Davine Joy Randolph.
Yes.
This made me so happy. I can't believe it slipped my mind.
Yeah.
One of my favorite performances of the year.
Yep. I was so happy too. So well deserved.
I watched your little speech. It was good.
Yeah. It's such a well-deserved award, as well as it's gonna do so much for her career. So that's like, it's really...
When I was talking about, I like actors getting credit, Robert Downey Jr. winning a major award and Davine Joy Randolph winning a major award are very different.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Downey Jr. has all the awards he could ever need already, but this recognition in someone's career who isn't necessarily in like the A+ list tier of celebrities, I'm just happy to see a great performance get recognition like that.
I know, and they don't enough, so it was awesome to see that happen. All right, best actor in a musical or comedy, we had Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction, Joaquin Phoenix? Joaquin or Joaquin?
I think it's Joaquin.
Joaquin Phoenix for Beau is Afraid, Matt Damon for Air, Timothy Chalamet for Wonka.
Chalamet.
Isn't
that a French name?
Timothée Chalamet? I don't know. Maybe it is. Nicolas Cage for Dream Scenario, and Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, and Paul Giamatti won. And I was
Holdover sweep at the Golden Globes.
I'm so happy. Yeah, no, I mean, oh my God. Like we spoke about it last week. Paul Giamatti's performance in that movie is just off the roof. It is such a complex character that he's playing, and he's nailing it from beginning to end. Very happy.
Can you say the first few names again? There was a name I wanted to talk about, but now it slipped my mind.
Did you want to talk about Timothée Chalamet?
No.
Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction.
Oh, no, I wanted to talk about Beau is Afraid, I think.
Beau is Afraid. Joaquin.
What were you about to say, though? Matt
Matt Damon for Air.
For Air? Okay, I'll talk
Yeah.
about that too, but I didn't see Beau is Afraid, mainly because it was 3 hours, but from what I've heard, it was a deserved nomination.
Yeah,
So
Josh keeps telling us to watch Beau's Afraid.
I think it's about like this guy with like super, super severe anxiety, like crippling
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, which sounds like an interesting concept. I've heard that it kind of goes long for 3 hours, but it might be something we have to watch too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt Damon for Air. Air is weird to me because the people I've seen talk about it have overrated it, in my opinion, but it
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
The only people who talk about it say it's like one of the best movies of the year, which I don't think it is. And then nobody else talks about it. So it's weird. It's not getting enough recognition, and the recognition it gets is overstated, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, it was all right. Like it's okay. It's
Yeah.
entertaining, but it's Oscar worthy. I don't know. you know.
Yeah. But I'm not mad at a Matt Damon nomination. He was good in that
Mm-hmm.
movie.
Mm-hmm. You still have to watch like the early Matt Damon / Ben Affleck movies, like
Yeah.
classics. You really need to get onto those
Yeah,
movies.
I'm getting there with classics now.
Yeah. Okay, best actress in musical or comedy we already did. Best actor in a drama nominees were Coleman Domingo in Rustin, Leonardo DiCaprio in Killer of the Flower Moon, Bradley Cooper in Maestro, and Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer.
I would guess Cillian Murphy won.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this is a movie I don't want to see, Maestro with Bradley Cooper.
Mhm.
Apparently, it was Bradley Cooper chasing an award. From what I've heard, he made a movie that was specifically designed to get award love, and apparently it's super dull. So I'm just saying right now, we're not watching that movie.
Okay. It's about a music conductor or something. That's what it sounds like.
One other thing I want to say, The Holdovers really toes the line between drama and comedy.
It does.
Like, I wouldn't bat an eye if it was nominated for either of those two categories.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Same thing with Poor Things when you think of it.
Yeah. What was it categorized as?
Comedy or musical or comedy?
I would say a little more comedy for Poor Things.
Mhm.
Because how, like, it had, like, a lot of bizarre, absurdist comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like,
And
I
I don't think The Holdovers did anything
animals,
quite as goofy as, like, Mark Ruffalo breaking into tears multiple times.
or the animals that are a half man, a half duck, or
The guy who got changed into a goat. Yeah. Okay, next
Oh, boy.
category.
Then the next category is Best Actress in a Drama. And that was Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Greta Lee for Past Lives, Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall, and Annette Bening for Naiad, and Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. And the winner...
I've only completed one of these movies, and you've completed none of them. You started Killers and didn't make it to the end.
Yeah, just no.
So
no, but I can say that from what I've seen,
the winner,
the little part I've seen, yeah, Lily Gladstone took it home.
So deserved. This might become a recurring theme on this podcast. I am not the biggest fan of Leonardo DiCaprio. And Lily Gladstone was absolutely the standout of that movie. What I said after watching the movie is that both because she had such a strong performance and because of the nature of the story, that character should have been the protagonist of the movie.
Yeah.
And
she carries it.
She was not the main character.
No, but she carries the movie. Okay. And it's nice to see some love for indigenous people, I will say. Because, they've been snubbed by Oscars and awards.
Big win. That whole movie was really good at giving a lot of indigenous people of a lot of various backgrounds opportunities. I was looking into the specific ethnicities of the actors in the movie, super diverse from a lot of different tribes and indigenous ethnic groups.
That's good. All right. Then we go to best director. We have
You know who I would give it to? I don't even know if it's a nomination.
okay.
Give me Wes Anderson for Asteroid City, best director.
For director? Okay. Sadly, not nominated. There is Celine Song for Past Lives, Martin Scorsese for Killers, Yorgos Lanthimos. I don't even know if I'm saying that properly. Yorgos
That doesn't sound bad.
Lanthimos for
You're
Poor
probably not far
Things.
off.
Poor Things. Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, and Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer.
This,
And the winner is
I would say Christopher Nolan. That's not necessarily my pick, but that is who I would guess. This was a super strong year. So many narratives around them. Obviously, Scorsese, a legendary director. Christopher Nolan, a director who has had a lot of critically acclaimed movies, but hasn't necessarily gotten a lot of love. And then Greta Gerwig, having one of the biggest achievements for a female director in cinema history. Strong year for best director.
yeah. And it went to Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
I want to add something on Poor Things again, because, you know, you have Barbie, that was a very feminist movie as well, but that was the main topic of that movie. And then the other movies, there's like a lot of, you know, the movies normally have like one topic. Poor Things had so many topics, so many messages, it could have fell flat. So to me, the director should have gone to Poor Things, because it really could have been a fiasco, like, you know, but it wasn't. It was a masterpiece. So that's good directing to me. Anyway,
okay. What is the next category?
Best film, musical, or comedy.
Oh,
so
we had picture.
Yep, we had Air, American Fiction, Poor Things, Barbie, The Holdovers, and May December.
Is the winner Barbie?
Nope.
Is the winner Poor Things?
Yep.
Which is another thing you told me and I blanked on again.
So yeah, it won. It won for
any movie in my top 5, I can't complain about winning an award.
And then the best film in drama, the nominees were Maestro, The Zone of Interest. I have no clue what that is. The Zone of Interest, Past Lives, Oppenheimer, Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oppenheimer sweep at the Golden Globes.
Yep, it was. But I just want to show this picture, okay, because it's just so beautiful. I'm just gonna share my screen for a second. This is the movie, the picture. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm so happy she won.
Yep. Yeah, it's you love to see it when it's the underdog. Categories? No, that's it.
Hey, I think you definitely missed some.
No, the rest was in the TVs.
Well, there's one that sticks off to me right now.
Oh, best animated film.
Best animated feature.
Yep. And best foreign language. I didn't go through. So best animated, it's probably my inner bias that didn't even want to talk about animated movies. All right, best animated film, you had Elemental, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Super Mario Brothers Movie, Suzumi, Wish, and The Boy and the Heron.
And I know that my pick didn't win this one, and I can't even be mad because the one that did win is a movie I didn't see, so I can't make a judgment.
No, but you want to see it.
I do want to see it. The Boy and the Heron.
Yep. Yep. It looks
Uh,
like an interesting. It gives me what's the name of that movie? Oh my gosh, I blank so much. You know that animated movie, that Japanese movie?
Anime?
Yeah.
Spirited Away?
Yes, Spirited Away.
It's
It
by the
gives me that
same
kind of
it's by the same production, animation studio.
okay.
Studio Ghibli. They do like most of the big major anime movies that come out that aren't based on other existing media like Nintendo or whatever. It's like
Mhm.
Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Ponyo, The Boy and the Heron. All these big Japanese animated movies are mostly from Studio Ghibli.
Okay. Well, I didn't know, but I thought it had the same kind of feel to it. So
Let me see. You're sure we didn't miss anything else?
I have two more categories. One is the best foreign language film. Nominees were The Zone of Interest, Society of the Snow. Oh, Society of the Snow was nominated. Look at that. Past Lives, Io Capitano, Fallen Leaves, and Anatomy of a Fall. I didn't know that was a foreign movie. And the winner is?
I don't know, and I'm just kind of mad that my movie didn't get nominated here.
What was your movie?
Godzilla
Which
minus
one?
one.
Oh, no.
I
That
don't even want to talk
sucks.
about that. Yeah.
Oh my God, no. Like, that's a miss. That's a big miss. Nope. Golden Globes, you didn't do it right. That's a big
So
miss.
Anatomy of a Fall
Anatomy
one.
of the Fall. Yeah. Anatomy of the Fall one.
Yeah. You said one more section, right?
Yep. Cinematic and box office achievement.
We talked
And
about this one a little bit off camera.
you're going to know right away after the nominees.
You were
The Super
surprised it
Mario.
wasn't the other one. I
I
already know
know.
because we talked about it a little bit.
So Super Mario Brothers, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Oppenheimer, Mission Impossible, John Wick 4, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Barbie.
So Barbie won, which is deserved. I think all of these movies have most of the movies listed have some claim to be a big box office achievement. Oppenheimer almost broke $1 billion as an R-rated movie. Super Mario Bros. Was both the biggest video game adaptation of all time and one of, if not the biggest, animated movies of all time. And then Barbie, the winner, broke records for movies directed by women in terms of how much it made. It was the biggest movie of the year. It's kind of objective that this movie deserves.
You know, I was surprised initially, but then when I started thinking about it, it does make sense because Oppenheimer was targeting an older audience.
It's
And
also an
then
R-rated
Barbie,
movie.
yeah, but it's Barbie. Like, everybody was taking their kids to see Barbie. Like,
Yeah, I know. And Oppenheimer was an R-rated movie.
oh yeah, and
Barbie
yeah,
was
Barbie was
PG-13, I think.
PG-13, yeah. So so it just like the more I was thinking about it, the more it made sense.
Like,
That
really step back and think about the appeal of Oppenheimer when you take away the big names, the big director. This is a movie about an atomic bomb and like court hearings and scientists developing the atomic bomb. It's not something. I think it's remarkable that it got as much love as it did. Not big enough to beat Barbie at the box office, but still $1 billion for that. You probably wouldn't expect that until you attach the names Robert Downey Jr., Christopher Nolan to that kind of project.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, if the names wouldn't have been attached to it, I probably would have thought, maybe it's gonna be boring. But there's
And then you
something
would
to be
go
said about
into
the
it
direction.
and it would be your surprise movie of the year because of its commentary on the atomic bomb, which is what Godzilla minus one did. You're
Yeah.
like, meh, I don't know if I want to go see that. And then it was just the best movie of the year.
Oh my
One of the
gosh,
best
yeah.
movies of the year.
Definitely.
And then it didn't get nominated for Best International Film or Non-English, I think is the
I
name
think
category.
I think it should be nominated outside of being foreign too. Like it should have been nominated for
Yeah, like how
best movie
Parasite
of the year.
won
Uh-huh.
Best Picture in 2019.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that good. But anyway. Yeah, we're not the head of the Golden Globes. So
Nor
but
are we voters, but one day we will be.
Yep. So, hey, well, speaking of one day we will be, how are you feeling about this invite you got for
I'm
going
feeling
to?
really excited. For those of you at home, I got invited to a private screening. There's 3 different showings of it. One of them with a Q&A with I think they said directors, right?
Yep.
Multiple directors of the climate change documentary Common Ground, which is a sequel. I don't know how directly related they are in terms of what's being said, but it's a sequel to, I believe, 2019 documentary Kiss the Ground, narrated by Woody Harrelson. And I got invited to go to that private screening, and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, dude.
Be
That's like
expecting a
really
piece in The
awesome.
Seeker about that.
Absolutely. Did you see the first one?
I'm going to, obviously, beforehand, but I have not
Beforehand. Yet. Yeah.
I've heard about it though.
Yeah, Louise was talking to me about it. She saw it. She said it was really good. So, yeah, it goes hand in hand with like the stuff we do here. Like, you know, at the Seeker, we try to be shining a light on social injustice and climate change, and you know, so that's good. Right up our alley.
Yep. All right. Before we end, do you have anything else to talk about?
I'm good. I said my piece. I said what I thought, and I'm excited for the Oscars. I when are they? Like in February somewhere,
They're in
right?
March
Or
this year.
March.
This year it's like early March.
Super late.
Let's hope this year no major actor punches another major actor over, or slaps another major actor over them getting it, insulting their wife.
Right. I want to ask people. I want to ask people if they have any suggestions of movies that we must see. Please comment them in the comment section of our podcast, and maybe we'll have a look and give you our take on it.
One more minor thing. We could talk about this for like 2 minutes because no one's really going to care. What did you think about the movie we saw yesterday?
The Circle?
The Circle. Some random like 2015, 2016 movie.
It was interesting. I thought that the acting was like hit and miss.
Yeah.
Like, some of the actors were really good. Some of the actors were like super bad. But it was an interesting concept.
My biggest issue with it is that the social commentary felt so on the nose. Like the people talking about like these illegal aliens, or like there's some like undertones about abortion and stuff too. It's just so on the nose. There's no nuance or subtlety to any of it, like whatsoever. It just feels so straightforward, all of it. Definitely a fun movie though. You're gonna have fun watching it. It's not hard to digest, even if it tries to make a big message. And yeah,
but I still don't understand how the voting was going on. Like it's just I couldn't wrap my head around how they were voting. Like, and
seriously,
if there was like two
they just
sides
used their hand. No, there weren't any like they made sides, they constructed sides themselves, but there were no, and they would just use their hand and like hover it over someone, and the arrow would go white, and then you close your hand to lock in the vote.
Okay.
You still don't get it?
Anyways, that was not. No, because I was looking at the floor and it didn't look like it was voting, and then somebody would disappear. And
well, that's because no one could see anyone else's
voted.
vote. No one can see anyone else's vote. And I guess we as the audience couldn't see their votes either, really, for the most part.
Oh.
You couldn't see who voted for who.
How can you put your hand in front of the arrow and nobody sees?
Like it's some crazy movie. It doesn't. Okay, we don't have to talk anymore about it.
It didn't make sense to me. Like the concept of the voting didn't register, but well, it was all right. It was entertaining.
It reminds me, me and Trinity were talking about this movie right before we saw The Circle. It just reminds me of like not in the plot at all, but the general vibe of a movie like Escape Room. Super like just like fun to watch. You think too much into it, none of it makes sense. But you're gonna have fun watching it, and then you probably won't remember it that much the next day.
Yeah. And
I like movies like that.
It's a hard thing too to make a movie that takes place like in the same room for an hour, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like it's the same setting. It's cheap movie to achieve, it doesn't cost them much money to make, but it's a challenge for sure. So they did an okay job. I wasn't bored.
But speaking of being in the same room for 1 hour, I think we're getting a little restless here, a little ready to end the episode. So thank you guys for watching or listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on all of it if you want to switch to some other platform to hear us ramble about movies. But subscribe, like, leave 5 stars on any of those platforms. And any last words to say to them before we go?
Nope. We'll see you next week.
We will see you next week. Peace out.
Bye.
That's ISO. Rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it